amends been made, especially in the game. Now, basketball has actually been trending, and the Arua basketballers, especially the pioneers and the teammates for life, including in purpose-driven life, have had their training that has been actually organized, and this time around we'll probably be able to see more coaches come through, because the training will be able to give us a hint on the future of our West Nile sport, especially when it comes to basketball. While in golf, the story about the caddies has been quite interesting. Recently, they had the caddies, competition that probably is aimed at supporting them when it comes to scholastic materials. For those who are in schools, for those who say not in schools, they encourage probably to be able to access some institutions where they can learn life skills and probably even be able to support themselves bigger and better. And I think we learned some good lessons during the COVID, times, and this certainly gives us a big appetite. Then, like I said, long awaited, and so finally the launch for the Tuambe Corporate League will be today at 5 p.m. at Tuambe Sports Arena. The purpose is simple. We're having the fourth edition. The issues to do with the theme, the issues to do with who is taking a lead, how it's going to be, and of course this certainly will be coming through when the right time comes in. And of course, finally, we would like to thank the team that went in to support Anjovu Kusevia in that the fundraiser match that raised up about 8 millions. Then about 6.5 million Ugandan shillings has been saved, and which money has been extended to the family of Anjovu Kusevia as far as his medical bills are concerned. We talked about 12 million, but I think this is 5.5 million Ugandan shillings short. So that means the aspect of raising more money continues. For those who are in West Nile, those who are abroad, and Joe Janet is probably the person responsible collecting the monies. Let's keep supporting, because this is important, and of course we're supporting in a gentleman who has actually been one of the icons in the game. Good afternoon.
Okay, a very big one, of course, as usual. He would love him to summarize a lot, but still, that starts with the top story of Xavier. Of course, we did see how the turn-up was here and there. He has been a key figure into that is the West Nile football. I knew him first. Knowing him was at Calvary Football Club, the team that they brought into the FUFA Big League. Something very interesting that you could really as well also find out. But all in all, there are also other stories, just like you said. We're expecting golf activities to proceed. We're expecting maybe the basketball also come back and see that they run their activities. But all in all, you are having a lot to say in that is the region, probably coming from what has coming from how the games shall be run, because right now games are done. I'm told the region is thinking of starting a West Nile. There's something called, I think, West Nile Super something that they would want to do in there. What would be the best format probably to come in there, because the regional leagues are done. They don't want to keep players probably be idle, but they want to create in something where you maybe can play by district. Maybe let's say Yumbe district, Arua district coming together to play something in the region.
I think this is just about reviving what certainly has been in there. The problem is when the new school comes, they think the old school is probably rotten and confused. The guys who are running the region know that we had the West Nile inter-region, an inter-district competition that was funded. Firstly, is pioneered by Dr. Georgia Mulindwa, who probably is the appropriate of St. Mary Chitende and has been the former FUFA president in India. Now, he was giving about 5 million Ugandan shillings. This responsibility is shifted over to General, that is Dick Ulum, under Rolling Stars, and probably bankrolling, giving huge sums of money and probably supporting it. Now, I think it has been a while ever since this competition was played, but this competition would also give an opportunity for some of the youngsters or probably potential footballers to be selected from the various districts to represent the region or probably the province in the FUFA drum competition. A competition that has also become kind of inconsistent, because the last time FUFA drum games were played was, I think, in 2023. Yeah, 2023, 2024. So we already into 2025, and we haven't had games or communications of that nature apart from the qualifiers that were played some time back. And so for guys who are probably now in office, I hope that they sit down and try evaluate some of the earlier things. One of the most immediate things that the region has got to do is to find an office space in a very, very big place that at least would allow them, have a football pitch in place, have some office space, and probably even have other, accommodation and stuff like that. Something similar to Njeru. I was hearing with the new chairman, the new chairperson of the region, I said, guys, one thing is you've got to move the office away from Yume Town. Because where the office is, you just imagine about 20 football administrators come riding bicycles. Where would they park them? So it's a huge thing. But that aside, it's not my responsibility probably to make a final decision, but I think it will be so valid. Again, within the areas, I would expect them as well to give opportunity for those who have not been playing the FUFA Big League, those that have not played in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, even those who are not playing the Regional League, because the Regional League itself has already given exposure. This would be down to the teams that are playing the 4th division and the 5th division, specifically the footballers, and it would give them opportunity. And of course, perhaps maybe those who are in secondary schools, those who are in primary schools, and some of them who are probably in the universities that have not gotten the exposure that is quite needed. And I think it would be a plus. But of course, when this would be, how the funds would probably be accessed in there is a big challenge.
Okay, that's a very big one, because this looks to be one thing. Of course, as I talked, the team of the West Nile FA, West Nile Regional FA are in Kampala. They travel to have one or two things that maybe they could be doing. But all in all, if you look at what exactly is happening, I think all energy should be geared towards how the teams are going to get prepared for the FUFA drum.
Yeah, it's a big one. The drum will be a discussion of its own, simply because it's a competition that calls on everyone's support. I've served there diligently for about 2 seasons. I started in 2022, where we became champions, and 2023 that was extended to about 2022, 2023 that was extended to 2024, and then from 2024 up to now, there's not been any substantial information. But then the point is that there's need for people to accept that you don't need to overdo some things. You'd expect some changes. I'd expected some people to follow me and say, TOK came in when we were done with 2 seasons. Now, probably maybe we would chip in and probably also say that maybe I'm done. We would want to see probably have a new manager in place, a young one who connects well with the footballers. We've seen Cesar Okuti probably do pretty well, maybe build on technical team, maybe usher in some personalities, because I said I'm not internal now. Maybe the Fabio Burinis could come on board. Maybe Neg Abrahams, Romchan Villas probably get to be drafted deep into this, and Chandiga Andrews continue to be there. And then maybe the strategy has also got to change, because from getting money from the general public, there could be sponsorships that could be in place. As far as they have FUFA's approval, that would be very, very important. But I think for me the problem here is that we're trying to do so much by being quiet than perhaps engaging the rightful persons, other than waiting for the subject matter perhaps to come top, because this is the time to market the FUFA drum. True. To market the province. It's a province that won the trophy, in its third. It was the fourth attempt. Third attempt. And so this would be valid. Can we have a marketing arm? Can we have a communications team that is built around the media officer? Something that I did, and somebody can do it maybe exclusively so well. So this for me is very important. But then also look at the players who have been playing the FUFA drum from the first edition. Some of them probably a little tired already. It's time for them to as well pave way for some of the young players to come in and do the job. And I think that will be valid. The aspect of where the money is coming from when the competition starts, because FUFA only feeds 28 people, the 8 officials, 20 are players. FUFA does not give allowances, much as they had introduced in the sponsor was giving money, and this money is only go to specific individuals, not the entire team, unless if they change some things about the season. So I think this for me is very important. But seeing our leaders go to Kampala, have a meeting, rather than sit down in the region and discuss some of these matters and just put paperwork through the CEO or General Secretary is perturbing. It also gives you a hint on what our leaders are about. Is it merry-making?
Maybe they have an invitation into the
but
that could be one big thing.
At this point, I think it's just like you're biting your nails and you think you're doing a pedicure, you're doing a manicure. It's complicated.
Okay, a very good one, an interesting one probably that is coming in there. But I can tell you that the team is ready to see that they get themselves whatever it takes to push the region. And I did some new elections that came through into there. We yet to see the declarations that probably will be coming, but rumorly you could see that Mr. Chandia Bosco Origas, who was the second vice chairman,
was the vice chair.
yeah, vice chair, now becoming, of course, the chairman of the region. Of course, it was Ade Frederick who was the chairman of that is the region. So these changes, could it be that it will bring something into the region, because maybe there are a lot of loopholes that came through?
Well, I think for Rigas, he has been there. He's been the vice chair, and the chair would not get time to be in office again, maybe, or perhaps the elections threw him the other side, which is very normal. What is important is who is Rigas going to be working with. Because if he's going to work with the old lads, there's certainly going to be no change. They will still come with the old the old way of doing things, and maybe it will be quite different. But for me, what is also important is how does he intend to work? Because we're speaking about him as a personality. He's the driver of the car. Then where is he driving the car to? Then has he understood so well how this certainly could be translating in there? Because the first chair was Edon Ibrahim, who's based in Yumbe. The chairmanship moved to Koboko. It jumped Maracha, it jumped Arua, it jumped Maracha, and now it's in Arua district, the Arua DFA, that particularly even covers the city as well. So from the experiences I have, Origas certainly would be able to do much more than probably the person he succeeded. But what is important is for him to have a game plan and look at what the region can do. That is very, very important. But of course, the delegates who are going to be representing at the national level, about 5 or 6 of them that will be joined by Rigas, will have a bigger voice in trying to make sure that West Nile gets their own say of the cake. Okay,
of course, a very big one. Now, let's leave that there and come to what exactly we can do best for this region, depending on what exactly the teams are doing. Calvary Football Club, Paida Black Angels, Onduparaka Football Club, 3 teams that are representing in the FUFA Big League. And if you look at the table standing right now, Paida, Black Angel, and Calvary look to be at a higher note, on a high press for qualifications. FUFA Big League is a little bit tricky in its own way. But if you look at the 2 teams, you would say maybe there's likeliness of this. Where do you see the fate of the 2 teams? And if you were to see, where is the possibility? Which team do you think is easily to get into that is the Start Times Uganda Premier League next season?
Well, I think for Paida, they're left with 3 matches.
Yeah.
They're left with 3 matches. If they can get 2 wins out of the 3, I think they'll qualify. For Calvary, they're just a win away from qualifying. Onduparaka Football Club is safe from the relegation threats, so it gives a hint. But for Calvary, they have a fixture against Onduparaka Football Club in one of the 2 fixtures, and then I think the other is also a home game.
They have a
home game. So these are determinant matches. Should they win the other game, then the Onduparaka game perhaps would be so obvious. Then their chances are so high. Their chances are actually more than Paida Black Angels' chances. But I believe if Paida Black Angels keep their consistency, because they have been doing well, they will actually get results away from home. If they can get 2 wins, that 2 wins will actually push them to about 49 points.
Yeah.
And they will qualify. If you look at Buhimba Saints, you look at their fixtures, they look like the team that will be playing in there. So for Paida, they are battling in for a space with the likes of the Blacks Power team,
which is not doing well this time around.
Yes, they're not doing pretty well at the moment. I think their pot is almost breaking at the door, so that's why the complication is. And sometimes the game of football does not need a rush. The guys have been so good. You'd actually fail to understand why they're not performing well. And I think if they can pick up their motivation, they still have a chance. There's that one slot that the teams are fighting for. I think Calvary and Buhimba Saints are already sure deals, looking at how the table stands, looking at how things are unfolding. And for somebody who probably is asking, how does Calvary get to be top of the table when actually the other team has a better goal difference? And I think the consideration of head-to-head worked out, and that's the reason they are actually in there.
So you see Calvary getting it through?
Yeah, I see them go through. I see Buhimba Saints go through. I see chances for Paida Black Angels as well to go through, yeah.
It's one big thing that we're looking at, but if you look at how teams probably are performing right now, you would say, yeah, it requires a lot of things because I can assure you we have games that are left. Team Calvary has so far played 26 games. Buhimba still has a game at hand to play to make it. That means they have 3 games to play. If they win 2, that means they will go on top. Even if winning 1, they go on top. Gaddafi still has 3 games at hand. In case they also win, it gives them a chance, and that is if Calvary will not be in position to win. Then Pi the Black Angels has also 3 games at hand. And which are these games? That's what I want us to check through and probably make sure Toko speaks basing on that because FUFA Big League is coming.
I think Calvary, Paida has a Calvary to play.
Yeah.
They have, Calvary to play. That is one game that will be playing down at the Calvary's home. Then they have a fixture at home. Then they have another fixture away. Yeah, that's about the stands. And of course, for Calvary, they have a home game and they have Onduparaka to play. Those are determinant games.
Also, Paida on 7th will be playing at Chigezi. They will have to travel.
This
tough
Saturday.
Game, which is
a
big one. And then you have the team of, that is, in fact, to fit in the Boilings. Then you have Calvary that will play Onduparaka in their last game. But still, they will have a team like Chiinda to play because that is going to be their next game
on 15th.
On 15th. Whereas Paida will have to play Chiinda after that is, of course, Onduparaka. By the time Onduparaka is playing Calvary. And then that means Paida also has Calvary at their own home. So that means you look at the state of any loss for Calvary, because Calvary's next game is now Onduparaka. They will have to wait until the Onduparaka game unless fixtures are
because I see Karo Karunji as one of the fixtures that Paida Black Angels perhaps has. Yeah, it's a big game. They will be hosting it at Barokoro Stadium.
They are going to have Chigezi first. Then they will have in fact, they will have Chiinda also being played still away. That is against the Chiinda boys on 12th. Mm-hmm. Then they will have a game as Paida now to play the team of that is Calvary on 21st. So tight fixture. 2 away games, so tricky for that is Paida. And then you have an advantage for Calvary, who has 1 away game.
Actually, all their games in West Nile.
They have 1 away game. They have a game at home, which is against Chiinda. They are also away to, that is Onduparaka. So they have Onduparaka. They have also now, they have Chiinda. And then, they have Paida Black Angels. That is also at hand. So
it's tough. It's tough, but like when I was the PRO,
so that's why winning, Paida, in fact, Calvary winning at Green Light is a plus for them. Very enough for them to say they have at least something.
When I was the PRO of Paida Black Angels, in the first round we had 16 points. In the second round, we accumulated about 21 points. Should have been 24, but the Chira Young game was cancelled because we'd won 4-1 and Chira had to withdraw from the competition. And that was the reason that the team did not qualify for the next competition. But then somewhere, I was also trying to look at how does the mathematics work out. I'm not trying to talk match fixing, and I'm thinking Onduparaka is safe.
True.
We've stayed without a team in the Star Times Uganda Premier League for a long time.
I know.
Then we have an opportunity that rests in the hands of Onduparaka Football Club as well, because after the Chiinda boys game, Calvary, if they win it at home, they will go to 51 points. Then if they can get a result against Onduparaka Football Club, they would go to 54. That then would not have any doubts about how the team qualifies. Then they have a fixture against Paida Black Angels.
Yeah.
Which, after their qualification...
Which will be like a determination.
Yes. After Calvary qualifying, it would make Paida qualify. Because we're speaking amateur football. Because, it gets a little tricky, and this is where the mathematics works in there. So you'd actually be able to look at what can we do that probably could be making, and this is where you need the stakeholders. Who in the past would sit down and say, what do you want to do? Because there are chances that if you want all the teams, like pushing them by force, it doesn't work out. Now, we talk about safety, we talk about promotion. And if safety has already worked for Onduparaka Football Club, promotion should certainly be able to work for the 2 teams. Calvary, and Paida Black Angels. And for promotion to work, there's got to be that outside the box thinking. Yeah, because the creative minds say, do it better. And certainly that could work out.
Let's wait and see how the FUFA Big League will be like, because it's one of the biggest things somebody will be asking, and how this is. So that's how the mathematics is, and how teams are preparing to see that they achieve these promotions. But all in all, of course, winning here 2 games will take, that is like 13, no, that is 6 points. So if you add 6 points to 6 plus 37, that's how many? 40 what? 43.
Yeah, 43.
43, which wouldn't see, of course, that is the qualification for Nduparaka, because Paida is still the same head-to-head. You will see a lot of things. So that means that, just like you say, they are safe. And even if they win the remaining games, they will not be able to proceed. Now, this is how the table standing is. Calvary takes the charge yet on the summit with, of course, advantage head-to-head. Number 1 with the 48 points. Then you have, that is Buhimba, who has 3 games at hand. Of course, they will be having also, that is the game to play. They have 48 points. Then you have Gaddafi, that is also having 43 points. Then you have Pay the Black Angels, that has 43 points. You have Black's Power at number 5 with 42 points. See where Black's Power has dropped when they almost even finished 3/4 of the season. That is number 1 to number 2, number 3. That's how they were. Nduparaka lies at number 6 with 7 points. Chinda at number 7 with, of course, 35 points. Nduparaka's next trip is to Chiinda, where they will be, of course, battling it out at of course, Saza grounds. And then you have, that is Kataka, that is at number 8 with 33 points. Ntunga Saze with 30 points at number 9. And then Karo Karunji with 30 points at number 10. Maida with 29 points at number 11. Then you have Arua Hill at number 12 with 28 points. And then Busoga United at 13 points at number 13, with 26 points. You have Chigezi Homeboys, that of course I should say could confirm its relegation, because they have played already 20, they have 3 games, but that knock by Nduparaka was a hard one, and they are traveling to play by the Black Angels. Some hard one. That
actually, Paida travels to play them.
Yes, Paida travels to play them, which will be another tough one for them to see that they need to really overcome this. Then Boma, who did not even turn up for the last game, the previous game, the other fixture, are also rock bottom. So one thing is Arua Hill Sports Club. When the man by the names of Alan Kabonge came in, they had picked up momentum, won some games very fast, got some draws away, but now again they have dropped into, that is the bidding.
Well, they need to win the 2 games to stay in the league. They have 29 points, actually about 28 points. If they win the 2 games, that will take them to about 34 points. That will be the safety for them. But they should
depending on whether Maida, the likes of
Maida should
Karo
draw points,
Karunji
Karunji should draw points, and Tunga Saze as well draw points. But somewhere you'd also look at the teams that are behind them. That includes in the Busoga United team that has equal points with them. It's just a matter of head-to-head in them. And then somewhere Chigezi Homeboys have a small minus. If the Chigezi Homeboys, if they win their 3 remaining matches, 24 plus 9, they'll go 33 points. They still have a chance of safety. So the team that I can easily say has been relegated should then be the Boma team. Okay. I don't know why big league management is probably taking long, because a team with 19 points and a team that is certainly with about 4 games to play. If you play the 4 games,
they missed the rest. They missed the rest.
So having missed the rest,
that means they will have deductions.
Yes,
3
deductions
and 3 goals.
And they may not just be relegated to the 4th division league. They can even go to non-league. So that's where the difference is. But all in all, it's a harsh show. I was giving you a story of how Ndeje University probably had to wait until when Paida game was done, and then they acted the movie and the goal was scored for them to qualify ahead of Paida. That was one of the moments, and I think it was 2015-16 season that I still have fresh in my head, about 10 years. That should have been one of the saddest moments in my life. And the fact that football has changed, that even Magugu has changed position from the competitions chair
To the president.
to become the president. All this perhaps has been big stuff, but the point is, looks like he's not getting the challenge that he deserves.
Okay.
There's no one who comes out and says, let's have the football run independently. Let's have people who probably know the football game do the technical work. The politics in the game shouldn't be in every corner. It's weird, it's mad, and it's crazy.
Someone was saying now that this club was given to community, what is not happening. Abusoga United. Anyway, that's going to be another discussion right there. Now let's take a break. We will be right back to give you more of the interesting stories that will be coming into the international scene because there are a lot that we are expecting with the transfers that very many are looking onto. Clubs are talking about players. What do you think your club will be doing internationally? Because of course you can get it anywhere. We always give you local sports some more time to see that we get there and then get back to the international stories. And that means we shall tackle one or two. If we don't touch your club, that means maybe time has cut us short or even there are no stories about that club. So let's take a break. We'll be right back.
The search for Miss Uganda is back on Star Times Makula Chika. All regions compete for one crown. Who will be the next true Ugandan beauty queen? Do you have the looks, the brains, the confidence? This is your chance. For registration, log on to www.missuganda.co.ug before 20th June. Miss Uganda 2025 premieres on 27th June at 8 p.m. on Makula Chika. Stay connected on Star Times to watch the journey to the crown.
Miss Uganda, true Ugandan beauty.
This search is sponsored by Vian Esheri, Sino Mbale Industrial Park,
U-Home,
Xiaomi, and Tico Safari Lodge, and lead sponsor Tianao Furniture Manufacturing.
It's time to break free with Azam TV. Grab yourself a full kit at 80,000 shillings or an Azam decoder at 40,000 shillings. Experience the thrill of every goal in La Liga, Italian Serie A, German Bundesliga, and the excitement of live sports action from the Saudi Pro League and Carabao Cup on Azam Plus and Play Package in HD. Your favorite China Uganda movies on Chamuka TV on Azam Pure for just 13,000 shillings monthly. Unlock a world of sports and entertainment with Azam TV, the most affordable pay TV around. Visit any of our agents or call 0312 308 900 for more details.
Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that break. Still with time live on your screens. And now starting with the top stories coming this very afternoon. With a top story coming in from the increased push for that is Benjamin Sesko, that is the Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta, or the Arsenal manager. He says that this is one player that he needs in there. But remember, the sporting director is also pushing so much to say that he gets Victor Gyökeres into the books right there. Now, that's one big thing. But to me, it looks like a conflict over the two persons. Toko, who is supposed to do who?
And I think the European football has its drama. Because in the past, when the Arsene Wengers were working, there was no sporting director. There were head coaches. They were doing management. Even Sir Alex Ferguson's were doing the same thing, and Fabio Benitez, Benitez perhaps was doing the same. But the point is now that we've reached an era where the sporting director role has become very epic. There's truly a conflict of interest somewhere, because the sporting director Bata wants Gyökeres, and then Mikel Arteta is interested in getting in Benjamin Sesko. Then the only way that this would work out is having in the consent of Mikel Arteta, who certainly will be standing the touchline day in, day out. And I think his interest is far from the player who's playing for Sporting Lisbon. This then gives you a clue on who they want, and is he available? Because if Sesko is not available, then they can come back and probably discuss Victor Gyökeres, a deal that I think would probably be dependent. But there's a possibility of actually Arsenal getting to do both deals, because they have about 300 million pounds to spend. If you have the money, then you can do it.
Okay. The two players are two different players, I should say. Okay. They have, you could say, they have certain characters that do not match. Physicality, clinicality matters in the striking department. But there of late people consider so much even assists. How do you contribute into the play? Now, if you look at the two sides, Victor Gyökeres and Sesko in the Bundesliga 2024-2025, he played 33 games and scored 13 goals, made 5 assists to his name, whereas the man by the name of Victor Gyökeres played 33 games, scored 39 goals, made 7 assists to his name. If you were the coach, who would you go for? And would you say maybe it is the time to model up Sesko, or would you make him do this? Because again, the sporting director may want, but players go where coaches want them.
Yeah, I think if you check on the WhatsApp chats, Gyökeres could have discussed more with Amorim, simply because they had a relationship before. But we're speaking about a player who's coming from the Portuguese league. How many players came from the Portuguese league and they had instant impact? You could score about 40 goals in that league. Then when you come to the Premier League, you fail even to score 10 goals. It could happen. But I think somewhere also the philosophy of the coach matters. One, Mikel Arteta wants Sesko is behind, perhaps because of one is the height, two is the age. He's very young. He wants to build a young team that can be there for about good years. Because if you look at Bukayo Saka, you look at Gabriel Martinelli, those are young players. Then he's also somewhere talking about Nico Williams. So certainly he's trying to have a very young team in place, because that makes the transition a little easier. But then also, like, you look at what Gyökeres would bring on board if he comes in and he's a hit, and I think he can be able to score the goals. He can actually do better. Okay. So that's why the difference has to be. And for me, Gyökeres looks complete because he's mature. Then Benjamin Sesko is a player that will still need a bit of the patience to fit into the system and probably will be able to score, because both players have different attributes.
Now, for Gyökeres, he has been in the Premier League before, and probably could be coming with that experience.
What is his statistics? And because you look at the statistics, you think he didn't do better.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because he didn't do better. Well, maybe with second chance, because we saw Mo Salah probably even flop at Chelsea, but he became a hit at Liverpool. So sometimes who is signing is also very important.
Let's look at that, but we're looking at what probably could be, to me, Gyökeres could be a very good one for Arsenal, if not even Alexander Isak, who no one talks about, because of, you look at the midfield of Arsenal, you have very many players who could give those passes that he is able to finish up with, but it's just option. Now let's go to United, a Manchester United team that is also so busy in the transfer. Just got done with the Matthias Cunha deal, and then just a day after, we saw the reports about the Cameroonian, the African Mbeumo, who of course is also being linked with the move. And all these players, by the way, have been left out of the team that is going to be playing ahead with Uganda. They have been left out. Now, there's something that United is trying to do, but to me, which I'm not liking maybe. Yes, the players are good, maybe the coach's favorite, but I'm seeing the prices or the price tags also going high. Mbeumo has said he's going nowhere. He wants to go to Manchester United, yes, which is okay. Bruno Fernandes declared that he's not now going to Saudi, he wants to remain. But you are coming and you need 250 per week. You've been earning 50 per week, 50 euros. Now you need 250,000 euros. Where does it make sense?
Well,
That's the demand, and United said yes, we shall give you.
United is unable to attract big names. So when you go to United, you take a risk. It's basically because there's money. So you need the money. Because you're coming in to give confidence that you'll be able to take the team back to the European competition. United attempted a shortcut that became very hefty and very complicated. So for me, that player knows his value. He knows what he wants. And then how he's going to be doing things at United will certainly be important, because he's a player who can play across all the front three. Can play for you in the left-hand flank, right-hand flank, can play for you as a false nine or probably a centre forward. He has those attributes. Now about the money, it depends on the negotiation powers of Man United, because that's what he wants. Then what does Man United want to offer him? Because at the end of the day, that's what is very paramount, because he's interested in coming in there. If this fails, then maybe we'll be trying other opportunities. But I think United will be able to double his figures and probably then taking them to about 150,000 pounds per week. That I think for me that could work out.
What about his price tag, 60 million?
Well, 60 million for a player who scored 20 goals, not so bad. United signed the player at 70 million and he scored 7 goals before he joined United. How many goals did he score? Hoyland. So United has been dealing with these scammers.
Okay. In that way, we waited to see what exactly that is, and probably a hint about the Bruno say 700,000 euros per week in Saudi Arabia, and you're saying no to it. You have to remain loyal to your coach. After speaking, then talk to that is because there are a lot of Portuguese who have gone to that is the Saudi Pro. He said his children love playing with the kids of the likes of Jan Neves, the other names, but the Cancelos. But his wife asked him, "What is your profession? What do you want in your profession?" And that's the reason why he has made a decision not to go to Saudi. Is that a good one?
Well, I think if he stays at Man United and United are able to sign players like Mbeumo, probably players like Kuna, I think United is becoming a team that certainly will be able to win things up in there. He's been a fantastic footballer, probably one of the best ever since he came to United. He scored important goals. His studies are quite amazing. He's a proven footballer. So if he stays put, that for me is a positive thing. But then if he decides to go to Saudi, where probably the cameras are not going to be on him, it will also be down to the financial aspect. But I think at United he's earning good money. Okay. Surely earning good money. If he can stay, then if United can be able to build, then United will be a team to watch.
There's a good player at Bournemouth who is called Milos Kakez, who has been a very key one in there, and Liverpool are now looking forward to see that they get him at 40 million. And reports from Talk Sports report that this deal is almost done, and Liverpool could get this. The likes of Robertson, you've seen how they've struggled into the team, so they could feel Ancelotti thinks this guy would be a very good addition to his team or squad there to push in there. Good or bad?
Well, a fantastic deal. They got Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen, proven footballer, and perhaps small money signing. They are looking at Kake, probably one of the best left backs we saw last season in the English Premier League. Now Liverpool are trying to do their very best in trying to sign. They signed a replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold. They are indirectly, probably or directly, signing in a replacement for a player who has been so good for them at the left hand side, especially in the defense. I think it's a very valid thing. Looking at how they want things done, how they want to contribute, because already Kakes is coming to replace Robertson. Trent has been replaced by Frimpong. Then there are those undercover players who probably have been stepping in occasionally at a time when Liverpool probably have a big responsibility. I think signing young players is very, very important. Now, Liverpool is looking at an opportunity of returning the trophy. It's something they have not done for a while. Because after Klopp had won it after 30 years, the Premier League, now, boom, just after perhaps a small time, they are champions and they have got to defend the championship. There's been a praise all over for the Liverpool coach.
Okay.
Maybe this could be time for him to be tested whether it's right or whether it's good to go.
Zubimendi is one big name that people have been talking about, and Arsenal keeps leading the lines for Zubimendi. Martin from Real Sociedad, and now he said he's not sure where he will end up.
Yeah, because he hasn't put paper on paper. I mean, a pen on paper, but then things were verbal. So verbal things sometimes have setbacks, and I think he's one of the players who has his aspect of confusion, because at one point he was closer to joining Liverpool. He said a no at the last minute. Then Arsenal trying to put all the eggs in the same basket. Then that's where it is. But of course, Arsenal does not say need a number 6. If you can tie Partey down,
going.
If you tie Partey down, you go to the market, sign a left back. You can even go and compete for Kakes, get him in. You have a centre back, backups of the guy Jacob Kiwior. You have Califiori who can play in there. Then you need a left back. Now Miles is actually a very better player when it comes to the position we're talking about. Zubimendi would come in, yes, could be surplus or probably adding something in there. So the English Premier League is a tough league, very complicated. Because if Partey plays the way he played this season,
yes,
you'd actually wonder. I think Partey missed the least number of games in the season. This has been somehow one of the best seasons he had at Arsenal. So if you can have Partey to mentor Miles, then Miles will be another Partey. It's just about
let's look at lastly into the Inter Milan books, who couldn't win the trophy, and probably like Simone Inzaghi could be leaving. He has other options that he could be going to, but Inter Milan have gone in for the Como manager, Cesc Fabregas. They want him, the former Arsenal player. They want to bring him into their books. Would he add with all the pressure, because Simone Inzaghi could be also departing?
Well, this is where it gets complicated. Inzaghi had a very good season, only to lose the final. He benched some players that made a lot of noise about him. Moving forward, Cesc Fabregas probably is another spice. They're trying to build it from somewhere. Fabregas will come with his own mindset, because there are a lot of old players in the team. And I think Fabregas' first responsibility, if he gets the job, is to do away with them. There's a 37 years old. There's a 35 years old, there's a 32 years old, the 33 years old. So the Italian football probably is about ages. So how we manage ages probably also, something big. But I think for me this is very dramatic. Getting rid of the man because of this. And remember, Napoli as well went on peeping the same club for a championship, especially winning in the domestic competition. So that's where the difference is.
Anyway, with that, we come to the end of this very show, but I can tell you that Croatia midfielder Luka Modric is already 39 years of age, and he has verbally agreed terms with AC Milan to join them after, that is, the FIFA Club World Cup this summer. He will be crossing over to, that is, AC Milan. You will not see him at Real Madrid next season, but instead at AC Milan. That's where we'll be ending his career. Good afternoon. Have the best of your afternoon, and of course the evening that is coming with a lot of interesting movies that will be coming. But of course, up next will be the movie on your screen.